People here, and I don't want to delay everyone and make our guests wait. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Anu Rajiv, and I'm the host for today's session. Welcome to Pukar Helpline's Wellness Dialogue series. We've been doing this for more than a year and a half every month, bringing you topics that are relevant to us on a daily basis. Things like empathy, listening well, grief, overcoming grief, positive attitude, addiction, suicide, so many things, and more from a perspective of being able to use it in our day to day life or to support someone we know, not just the theory of it, right? So, before we jump into the session, I would like to take a few minutes to talk about Pukar Helpline. It's a completely volunteer driven helpline. We operate from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. every day, every single day. Let me emphasize that every single day from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's a helpline that provides emotional support, confidential, non judgmental, pure listening to anyone who's feeling stressed, depressed, or suicidal. And I'm sure that, we all see the importance of this kind of a service in a world where everyone's too busy to listen. So we will be putting the details of the helpline on the chat. So feel free to share it in your groups, wherever you think it might be necessary. I'm not able to see all the videos on yet. I would really love it if the videos are on so that we can be talking to actual people. I'm sure our host would, our guest would also like to see faces rather than black boxes. Even if it's online, we'll give it a feeling of real life. So please do switch on your videos if you can. We will be recording the session. I hope it's recording. Yes, it is. Wonderful. We will have a Q&A as well, and depending on if our guest is okay, maybe it's during the session, or if you can put your questions in the chat during the session, I'll keep an eye on it and maybe bring it up in the conversation. Um, so just a little bit about the topic before I introduce the guest. I think this word addiction. So the topic is, in fact, understanding addiction from small habits to big struggles, and it's somewhat a journey of how it starts. I think, in my head at least, I think this word often brings up very strong emotions, very strong preconceived ideas, and I would say a lot of judgment that is attached to this word. But I think what is common across all forms of addiction is probably not just the behavior, but I feel the inner struggles which go unnoticed. The thoughts, the relationships that get impacted, the emotions, and more than anything, the sense of self, lack of control, loss of control, and all of this is something I want to explore with the guest today. But one of the challenges we face in truly understanding addiction is judgment. Like I said, it's moving beyond that judgment. We often see it as somebody who's failed or morally weak or just weak in general, when in reality, it's probably just a way to cope with a lot of pain, right? Another interesting idea that I came across is that there are different ways of addictive forms of addiction. Some are hidden, some are subtle, and some are actually socially acceptable. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, yeah, like work is a socially acceptable addiction to have. I think that is just, that was just a light bulb moment for me. Through this session, we will be, looking at understanding addiction. How do we support someone without, causing them more pain? How do we stay compassionate? How do we not judge? And what really goes on in the life or in the mind of a person who is going through such a condition? So with that, I want to introduce our speaker for the day, Ishita. Thank you so much for being here this morning. So sorry. Okay, great. So, sorry about that interruption, Ishita. So, this is Ishita Akula. She'll be talking to us today about this topic. She's a clinical psychologist. Her focus is on group therapy, relapse prevention, and helping people in recovery build healthy, sustainable routines. That already sounds like a very promising journey there. She also creates resources and workshops to support clinicians and clients in mental health space. And I'm sure she's deeply passionate about empowering people in recovery, that's given that she is in this space, and strengthening the mental health community worldwide. With that, I want to hand it over to you, Ishita, to really give a little bit more of an introduction to yourself. And I have tons of questions for you today, so I hope you're ready.
Thank you, Anu. I'm very, very ready. I'm very excited about this opportunity because people don't talk about addiction. And a little about me is I have been working in mental health for almost 6 years now. But my journey of working in addiction just started 4 years ago, right? And I have previously worked with children with autism spectrum, ADHD, and that is a very different experience. However, this is where I truly found my calling. So I have been working in addiction for the past 4 years or so. And I am currently based in Pune. I work in a rehabilitation called Samarpan Recovery and Rehabilitation Center. And that is where a lot of our focus is on building a community because addiction can be very, very isolating. I
Yeah.
have never met any of my clients who say, I enjoy and I drink, or I drink in a club. No, they are drinking in a room all alone and just isolating themselves and hating themselves for it. So,
Yeah.
we focus a lot on building a community, having group therapy. Individual therapy obviously is a big part. Understanding why I am addicted to something. It's not because it's fun. It's not because it tastes good or
Yeah.
I like it. Obviously, those elements play a part in building an addiction, but understanding why I am addicted and how can I manage my barriers and my triggers, right? So this is some of my work. Obviously, addiction is, I am all about addiction, but I really enjoy working with long-standing disorders as well, like personality. I again believe that is a very big part of addiction too.
Hmm.
So I work in Samarpan, and here and there I see some clients in private spaces as well. And obviously, I love talking, raising awareness, doing workshops. That is, I think, that is my another space where I would really like to do good work. And Pukar gave me that opportunity, so I'm very, very thankful. Thanks a lot for inviting me, and I'm very excited to talk about addiction because it's not talked about enough. I think anxiety and depression have become like,
The
uh,
go-to words.
yes, but it's not that. There are other
Yeah.
things as well.
Right.
So thanks a lot for this opportunity. And I hope that this intro helps people understand where I come from.
Beautiful. I think I'm getting a really good picture about the kind of work you do and how empowering that could be. So thank you for doing that work, and also thank you for being here. And we had a little conversation before, before the session, and one thing you said really stood out for me. There are so many different types of addiction. Of course, most common, I think, we think about is smoking or drinking, but there's also other kinds. There's this the smell of, some people like the smell of glue, and I would go even so far as to say, some people are addicted to people,
Oh,
or
yeah.
yeah, or work, or coffee, tea, whatever. But I heard you say something which really stood out for me. It said all the addictions are the same, but
Mm-hmm.
the substance changes. That really stood out for me. What did you mean by that?
So, okay. This was a very interesting thing that I started seeing. Okay. When I first started, I was this naive professional who thought that alcohol people are different and cocaine people are different and heroin is different and gambling is different. And when I started, within the first 6 months, I realized that, hey, we are not talking a lot about alcohol. We're not
Mm.
talking a lot about cocaine. We're not talking a lot about like morphine, heroin. What we were actually talking about was impulsivity, uh,
Mm.
not being able to stop. We were talking a lot about needing things at that point. If I want something, I want it now. We were talking a lot about tendency to take a lot of risks.
Mm.
And that was like same across addictions. I have seen a lot of clients with porn addiction, same traits. I've seen a lot of clients with gambling, same. And these, and obviously alcohol and drugs. And I was just wondering that how are we talking about similar things when your substance is so different? And that is when I sat down with my supervisors, I read up online, and then I was introduced to this term called addictive personality.
Hmm.
And that is what determines whether you're going to develop an addiction, and what you develop an addiction to is not as important. I have also seen people, um, so first time they came in, they were addicted to drinking alcohol. Pretty common, went out, worked on it. Next time they are coming in, they are addicted to something else, and then something else. And I thought that, hey, we are not working on addiction. I'm telling you how to stop drinking. I'm telling you how to stop drugs. I'm not telling you how to manage your triggers to addiction.
Yeah.
And that was very interesting. And that is why I believe that when someone comes to me and says, hey, my addiction was so bad, I was doing drugs all the time, like, okay, personality. That's fine. That is fine. That's not a big deal. I
Um, Dolly, there's some echo from, I think, I'm not sure if it's the live stream or what.
Yeah,
But
now it won't come. Yeah. Fixed
okay,
it.
perfect. Thank you. Sorry
Thank-
about that, Ishita.
No, that's fine. And they are talking, my drugs, this, that. I said, okay, I get you. Let's talk about why you were doing it. And that stays the same across most people. Most people. So that is why I believe that I don't really care what your substance was. It only matters to me the first week that you come in.
Yeah,
Because the detoxification process changes. The
correct.
medicines that you are going to be on while you're in withdrawals will change. That's all.
Hmm.
Time that you would need to go through the withdrawal process would be different. The care that you would need is different, but that is very physiological. That's very body reacting
Yeah.
to something being taken away, right? um and yeah, so I don't believe that it is important that you're addicted to alcohol, smoking, a drug, a
Yeah.
person, your screen. eh, it doesn't really matter. It's just the first week I'm going to be entertaining that, but later that is going to go away. Yeah.
Okay, that's so interesting. And it when you're saying it, it really sounds like, it's really true because at the end of the day, it's coming from somewhere. And I'm very intrigued by this addictive personality. I didn't know that there were addictive personalities. Um, so what is really going on inside a person when an addiction begins to take root? And even if I have an addictive personality or not, I could still be addicted to something. And
Yes.
today's day, we are all addicted to our screen, for example. So what is really going on inside? What starts this addiction is my question, actually.
Okay. So I think we also have an interesting question in the chat, that is this session for substance addiction or all kind of addiction? So I just would take a moment to answer that,
Sure, of course.
that this is for all kind of addiction. Like I said, the substance does not matter. If you develop an addiction, then you are having some like a foundation laid up that makes you more prone to addictions. Okay. So when you ask me what happens before an addiction is built, right? Um, it is such an easy answer, but yet so complex. I think this is where I would like to refer to the addictive personality, right? All of us are born with a certain kind of temperament. Some people get angry more, some people get
Yeah.
bored easily. People who develop addiction are like born with a certain ingredient list, I would say, right? And some of the traits that make someone more prone to addiction or would be impulsivity. The first thing, if you are someone who is impulsive, who wants to do immediately. Let's go for a holiday. And they are in fact going for a holiday. Okay. They could be master planners. They are spontaneous people. रात को 12 बजे they'll say, hey, let's go for a drive. Let's go Goa. Let's drive from Mumbai to Goa. And they'll do it. Right? It does not always have to start that, hey, I want to have a drink right now. It could be in different areas of life also. They want to quit a job. I don't care. I will quit it right now. Without thinking ki aage kya hoga? What is going to happen later? I don't know. They have not thought it out. Right? That can be a very, very big marker that this person might develop an addiction. Right? Second is the most important, I would say, would be tendency to want something right now. We call it instant gratification. So very basic.
That's almost all of us now, Ishita.
Yes, yes. Unfortunately, services like Swiggy, Zepto, online shopping, and the 60 minutes delivery, 10 minutes delivery. It is making it so difficult to practice delayed gratification.
Yeah.
Gym jaunga. I'm going to go gym for 1 week, 1 month. I'm going to shred everything. That is instant gratification. Ordering something, wanting it right now, losing their mind when they don't get something right now. The difficulty in waiting. We have all grown up listening to this. Sabar ka phal meeta hota hai.
Yeah.
This person is not waiting for that phal. They don't care. They want it right now. That is something that tells me that no. We are treading towards very dangerous lines, right? Then someone who is constantly looking for risks, उन्हें मजा आता है. You must have heard this. I get a kick out of it. So this person is impulsive, is going to look for risks for amazing times, and they want it right now. This is the perfect recipe for someone to develop an addiction. Anything that gives me a high, a very quick high, a very big dopamine hit is going to be addictive. पहले हमें लगता था that a lot of research initially would say that alcohol gives you that high, gambling gives you that high, cocaine does. But very quickly we have realized that a similar high is experienced when you get a like on a social media post. Yeah. You get a compliment. Hey, you look good. You look gorgeous or whatever. And it's the same high. It's so interesting that with changing worlds, with like just devices taking over us, even that is giving me the same high, that something that my body would ingest and something that my eyes see is same. And that is why I believe that addictive personality traits are very, very important to be aware of, are important to be managed. Right? And that is why, like I said, if not alcohol, you're going to develop a addiction to something else if you're not managing these basic traits. Right?
So if I can interrupt you, because there is a question on the chat exactly on this, right? So it says alcohol. So Saul Verghese is saying that alcohol is a physiological addiction and social media addiction is more mental, which is what you're saying. Now that differentiation is not there because we're seeing that, even a social media like is giving me the same kind of high.
Yes.
But Saul Verghese also adds one still can stay away from physiological ones like drink, smoke, sexual, but the mental addiction is tough to handle: love, hunger, fear of missing out. So how can addictions be said to have the same tendency or be called similar highs?
But who says that it is easy to stay away from physiological ones?
Yeah.
In today's
that's quite subjective, right?
Yeah, in today's day and age, where every date has a drink involved, Every corporate meeting has a drink involved.
Yeah.
Every break has a chai sutta going on,
Yeah.
right? When every young kid in a college party is exposed, where there is a lot of bullying and a lot of peer pressure, I don't believe that it is so easy to stay away from the physiological ones. But I do agree what this person is saying, that a mental addiction is tough to handle. Love, hunger, and FOMO. These are very interesting um, terms used. And I would like to again say that you don't have to stay away from love. You don't have to stay away from
Yeah.
food. You don't have to stay away from people. I,
That's such an interesting point.
yes.
Yeah.
Maybe drugs and alcohol, yes, you might have.
Like,
You might have to. But the reason why we are making that demarcation is only because you can survive without a drink. Your body, your being can survive without a drink in your system,
correct.
but you can't survive without people. You can't survive without food. You can't survive without love.
Yeah.
What I do is, if this has to be a part of my life, I will manage my reactions to it.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
So what you're saying is, that is a really interesting point. First of all, that some addictions are things that I want out of my life, versus some addictions I cannot. Like work, I cannot stop, but I need to find a way to manage my relationship with work or my reaction to work. That's such a great distinction.
Yes. And
Understood.
it's similar to devices, work,
Mhm.
people, uh,
Yeah.
sex,
Yeah.
then money.
Right.
So if I have to stay away from all addictions, I will have to go to a forest and stay there all alone, not
Yeah.
even with anyone. Which is not, it's not life. It's not living,
Correct. So
right?
we have like 100 questions coming up on chat. I think this is a real interesting topic for everyone. But before, maybe we will touch upon that. We do have a few questions to go through. Um, One thing that you're saying, it really stands out, is one is the addictive personality, but also what it really stood out for me is that maybe addictions are on the rise now because the system is allowing for it. Like you were saying, every dinner date or every date or every outing is now has a drink involved, or Blinkit. Dolly and I were just talking about it right before the session. We were like, I think I might be addicted to Blinkit,
Yeah.
because I get everything in like a minute or 10 minutes at the most, right? So the system is allowing for the possibility of more addiction and instant gratification in
Yes.
all phases, whether it's physical goods or whether it's and like in Bombay and stuff, you can order alcohol home,
Yep.
right? So that is one. But I also wanted to touch upon, other than these three factors that you mentioned, isn't there an element of pain or um, you know real some stressor in their life which might be a reason for someone to be addicted to anything?
Yes, yes. And thank you for making that point. In hindsight, I realized that probably the addictive personality trait puts a lot of pressure on the self, that you
Yeah,
are to be blamed if तुम्हारे वजह से addiction हो रहा है, which is not true, which is
correct.
not at all true, right? Like you mentioned, um, there are social factors involved, like peer pressure, friends, etc. The system is also rigged. It is
Yeah,
against us because of so many more opportunities for instant gratification coming in. However,
right.
like present stressors also play such a big role, right?
Yeah,
um Imagine, why imagine, this is what happens with people. Yes, you have the perfect ingredient, you have some of these traits. Unfortunately, no one has taught us how to manage our impulsivity. No one has taught
mm,
us how to be mindful. No one has taught us how to manage sadness. And in that, something happens to you. So you are vulnerable, you are sad, you are stressed because either something happened at workplace, something happened with a friend, something happened with a partner, breakup, loss in a job, some career thing, any family, any stress, anything that is demanding your resources, which are probably running low. And then someone comes and introduces this. Hey, you know what? Use this, you will feel good.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't someone want to feel good?
Right.
Right? So the environment plays a factor. People around us play a factor. Our personality obviously is very important. They all play a very big role, all come together to give rise to an addiction,
Yeah.
right? And that is why, in hindsight, I used to also obviously make fun of my parents that, oh no, why are you so angry about my friends if they are a bit, loose? But they made a lot of sense, as much as I dislike admitting it. People around us also influence our lives. Stress influences our life. How do I handle something that is intense? Influences our life. A
Yeah.
lot of myths about happiness, about stability in life. But I mean, I have been alive for quite some time now. I've never felt like stable throughout. No, there have always been ups and downs. Every day there has been something that irritates me. It could be traffic, it could be someone, something. Is that is does that mean that I'm not happy? Or does that mean that life is
Yeah.
shit? No, probably no. All
Yeah.
these factors, if we usually look at addiction from a biological, psychological, social lens,
Yeah.
all of these factors played a part in making this person addicted to something.
Something.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. There's a very interesting question on chat. In fact, we will get to all the questions, so don't worry about that. But this really caught my attention. How do it says, am I addicted to Zomato because I order food every Sunday? And that really, makes me think, how do I know if what tells me if I'm addicted to something?
Hmm. Thank you for asking that question, because I have also seen a trend of diagnosing self,
Yeah.
right? And that can happen a lot if there is misinformation present. For the person who asked that, are you addicted to Zomato because you order every Sunday? Let me clarify. No, you're not. Industry, you're not. Trust me. I hope you're not addicted. Based on this information, you're not. How do I know if someone is addicted? Okay. Firstly, I want people to know that it is a clinical disorder. What it means is it requires admission. It requires someone to come out of their setting, go to a safe space, learn some things, rehabilitate, and then come back. It is a very, very serious thing, right? How do I know if someone is addicted? There are a couple of things. Okay. Firstly, this person is going to need more amounts of the drug or whatever is your substance of choice, alcohol, vagera, but also other things, devices, porn, sex, gambling, people, anything that you have feel that, oh, this is a difficult thing in my life, I'm not able to let go. You're going to need more and more of it.
Hmm.
So the best example I can give is, if previously you were um happy eating like one chocolate bar, the Cadbury, the 10 rupees one, not the silk one. The test small one, you could eat it in one setting. Okay, I'm happy now, I'm done. Good. I don't feel the need to have more. Then, if you do this every day for 6 months, you will realize that one bar is not enough. I want more, and I want more, and I want more. Right? This can be applicable to devices also. I want to spend more time online.
Yeah.
I have heard people spend like around 18 hours a day from 24 hours. This is the extent of an addiction. It's a young boy that we have, that I have seen, right? 18 hours. They did not start from 18 hours. It was probably a half an hour here, 1
Yeah.
hour there, 2 hours, 3, 4, 5, and then it rises to 18. This is called tolerance.
Okay.
That my body is building a tolerance to something. So, if my body, if my mind, if my heart I say only because people associate that with happiness, but it is all just body and mind. If my mind was satisfied in 1, 2, 3, now it needs more and
Hmm.
more and more and more and more. That is one factor of addiction. It's called tolerance. People build a tolerance to things. Okay. Second comes salience. What it means is I am going to ignore other things that make me happy. I am going to let go of important responsibilities because I want to spend time here.
Hmm.
So devices, again, 18 hours is no joke. That means you are definitely ignoring something
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
be here.
Yeah.
Drinking for a lot of time. You're ignoring something to be here. I always like to say that addiction is a full-time job because
Yeah.
you're investing so much time.
Yeah.
You are ignoring your family, you are ignoring your health, you are ignoring your work, you are ignoring your leisure time as well, your self-care to do this.
Hmm.
So that then another thing that happens that tells me someone is addicted or not is pleasure. Previously, things that gave me pleasure are not pleasurable anymore. So if you used to like, hanging out with people, your friends, you're not doing that anymore. You used
Hmm.
to exercise, or not the exercise, like not the gym kind, but just go out for a walk. You're not doing that anymore. You're not if watching TV, uh, like a series or comedy, whatever, made you happy previously, it is boring now. Because all your attention, all your focus is on that one thing. Then you know that you are addicted.
Hmm.
And the last, but definitely not the least, is your responsibilities are haywire. If you're a student, you're not studying. If you are a working person, you're not working. If you are a parent, you are not a present parent. If you are a caregiver, you are not doing that. When everything else seems useless, I don't want to do it, you know that you are getting addicted to something.
Hmm.
Like I said, it's a full-time job. You're doing everything, you're just ignoring everything else, just doing this one thing. Effort, energy, time, money, all has been redirected to this one thing.
Hmm.
This leads to addiction. This is
That's
addiction. And
that's so well structured. I think it really helps to understand what I can call as addiction or not.
yes, so like I said, Indushri, based on the very limited
Probably
information,
not.
you're not addicted. No, no,
Great.
no,
I'm
doesn't
happy to
seem
hear
like
that.
it. Yeah.
So shall we take some questions now, and then if time permits, maybe I will come back to my questions. I had a bunch of them,
Sure,
but
sure.
let's take some questions now. Can you please talk about porn addiction in teenagers? We get many calls regarding this. This is from Neelam Prasad.
Yes. Hi, Neelam. Thanks for asking that question. That's a very good one. Yes, porn addiction is on the rise. Um, how to manage it would be
I think before we even go to how to manage, sorry, Ishita, I'm jumping in there,
no.
but like, why is that on the rise?
That's a very good question. Why is that on the rise?
Is
Um,
it just access, like easy access,
that's the easy
exposure?
answer. That's
Yeah.
easy answer.
Hmm.
I mean that was the first thing that came to my mind as well. That access,
Yeah.
but that is the easy answer.
Correct.
This is definitely playing a very big role. I think, long ago when internet was not a thing, probably access to porn was not as much as it is right
Yeah.
now. Access is definitely playing a part. However, I also believe that so many myths and the taboo around sex also plays a part.
Hmm.
Right. Um, Unfortunately, people find themselves taking a lot of information from porn. Unfortunately, people find themselves, we have never been taught how to approach the opposite or person that you have feelings for. No one has
Yeah.
ever taught us that. Unfortunately, again, um, with the dating culture on the rise and a lot of rejections happening because again, no one knows how to approach someone that you like. It leads to a lot of rejection when my self-esteem is not built. But I am here, I am expected to have a partner and love marriages, etc., etc. People are struggling to have their needs met. People are struggling to have a partner. People are struggling to get proper information. And then porn becomes a good, unfortunately, bad, but an
So,
easy access to these
hmm.
things. And that is why a lot of porn addiction happens. Now,
This is also in the context of teenagers. So I'm guessing they're, I mean, they, some of them are dating and have girlfriends and stuff, but they're not looking yet to be like married or have a partner or anything. So, but yeah, please continue.
yes. And then this becomes easy access. That is why porn addiction could be on the rise right now.
Hmm.
Again, it it gives someone the pleasure of having like multiple partners. The fantasy of having multiple partners is satisfied in here. I'm not cheating, but I have this met. Um, Exposure to a lot of different um sexual practices, right? And a sense of curiosity.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing from you is it could have in teenagers started off as more, like you said, curiosity and more from oh, I need to know this at this age. Like people are talking about it and I don't know it, and this is a good source of information. It may have started off as that, but it soon becomes an
Yeah.
addiction, right? So how do we manage that in teenagers?
Unfortunately, this becomes a bit tricky, okay? Is the teenager calling it an addiction? Or does the caregiver or someone is older, probably a teacher, a parent, saying that it is addiction? That really matters.
Yeah.
Because I want to know from the kid. I want to know from the actual person. What do you think? Is it an addiction? What is it giving you? A lot of people use porn as a way of building their confidence,
Yeah.
as a way of building their self-esteem, um, and to sort of feel
Sometimes
good,
even to just fit in, right?
fit in, feel good
Yeah.
among a group of people,
Correct.
right? So I want to know from the person as well, because I don't think a lot of people would like to hear this, but watching porn as a teenager is also an age appropriate thing. Exploring sex, exploring the body, masturbation, etc., they are also age appropriate things. The
Mm.
parent could say that they're addicted, but I want to know from this person, how much time are
Mm.
you spending? What do you get from it? What if you don't watch it?
Yeah.
What would happen to you then? What are the triggers that make you watch porn?
Yeah.
How does you watching porn affect all your other things?
Yeah.
If these things are happening, then we would have to tackle one by one. The first thing, and this is where unfortunately I believe that rehabilitations come in handy. This is where a rehabilitation center is needed because everything is monitored.
Mm.
The first thing that anyone with any sort of compulsive sexual behavior comes in. That is what we call it. We club all addiction related to sex under this compulsive sexual behavior, right? Um, Abstinence is needed. What that means is no contact. So whenever people come to a samarpan with compulsive sexual behaviors, the first thing that we do is you're not going to have a phone with you. You're not going to have any access to a TV. You're not going to have any access to an internet. You're going to use what I like to call is a dumb phone, the dabba phones.
As opposed to a smartphone.
Yes, exactly.
Nice.
Yes, you have to use a dumb phone.
Right.
Why?
Right.
Because you need to be abstinent from it. And this gives us enough time to explore what goes on when you're not watching it.
Yeah.
What are your triggers? Did you get the craving to watch it right now? What went on in your mind?
Yeah.
And why you were watching it? Right?
Yeah.
So that would be the best way to go ahead. And
Yeah.
even though some of the themes are similar, self-confidence, boredom, um, again, just sensation seeking, risk taking, they need to be tackled very differently because porn sex is something that is a part of a healthy life, and I need to manage my triggers, right? I need to learn how to stop at after one video.
Yeah.
I need to know when to stop after, I have
Met my need.
yeah, met my need. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I need to know how to stop there.
Right.
Because that is what we are working on. This
Yeah.
is not like alcohol that can be completely removed from someone's life.
Yeah. And what I love about what you said about how to manage it with teens is to ask them how it's impacting their life. And, all these questions that you mentioned really, this is what I think emotional support is really about, where you're asking them, right? I mean, how is this impacting you? What is causing you to do it?
Yes.
Instead of just saying, hey, according to my standards, you are addicted and you need to now abstain. And that causes more stress and more, restlessness in that person's life. So I love that you're giving that, even though the person is a teenager and we think that they are not responsible enough and mature enough to answer these kind of questions, but I think that's a good start. And then I think when you said being in a rehab, you mean for people, and correct me if I'm wrong, for people who are then diagnosed as being addicted, that is a good option to kind of really abstain from it. Got it. This is helpful. There's one more on sexual fantasies. Sexual fantasies also comes in mental. One doesn't have to go anywhere like alcoholic has to visit a shop. Yeah, so there's less control on
Yes.
that, I guess, right?
What that means is if fortunately there are not other people who are making you do this, that means you have a lot of control over your addiction, and that is a good thing. Because if you are building it, that means you can also reduce it. That actually gives the person a sense of power. One of the first things that happens in addiction, or like my clients have told me, is I want to stop, but I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
But in here, if it is very mental in nature and you still have a lot of control over it, that's a good thing. That means we can build a lot of self practices, a lot of techniques like that will help you with this.
Yeah.
Again,
I'm just going to interrupt you there because sometimes the mental ones are the ones where we have very little control. Because if it's alcohol, I'm like, okay, I'm not buying alcohol or I'm not, but when it's mental, I feel like it's even more difficult to control it. Like you're saying, they might want to, but they don't know how to. And that's where the practices come in, right?
Yes. And this is where intrinsic motivation, internal motivation is extremely important.
Yeah.
Not willpower. I don't want people to confuse this with willpower, but internal motivation. I want to stop this because I need to stop it.
Yeah.
This is causing me trouble. This is
Correct.
causing my loved ones trouble. People unfortunately get into a lot of rehabs. My wife does not like this. My parents don't like it. And
Yeah.
what about you? No, I want to drink. I'm going to drink once in a while. I'm going to lie. I'm going to hide. Why? And I think this is where I would like to talk about a very important topic is involuntary rehabs and voluntary rehabs.
Hmm.
Involuntary is when people can come, bodyguards come and take the person away. Or
Yeah.
they're usually, intoxicated, so they don't really make a lot of sense. So they're taken away. Unfortunately, I have not seen involuntary rehabs work as well. Voluntary rehabs, when the person comes because they want to come, they leave when they want to leave.
Yeah.
And that is very important in addiction.
Yeah.
So even if it is a mental one, which is very difficult to control because no one to be accountable to,
Correct.
if you are willing to do it, it will happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's true for, I mean, in general, mental health and counseling as well. As a counselor, I can say that, if they come because they want to address something, then it obviously works better, right? That's
Yes.
beautiful.
Yes.
There's one more question which says, can addictions arise as a trauma response or a coping mechanism?
Yep. Actually, I'm sorry, I'm a bit under the weather. I was under the weather, but I'm recovering. Yes, they can. A lot of people use addiction as a way of self-soothing.
Hmm.
There is pain. There is pain because of whatever reasons. It does not matter. It does not have to be something this monumental that I saw someone die or something, some abuse happened to me. It does not have to
Yeah.
be that. However, I am looking to manage my pain. I don't know how to manage this. I don't know how to tolerate the distress. I want to get rid of it. I am using this.
Yeah.
That is the trauma, that is how it arises as a coping mechanism to trauma, right? Again, like I said, the person decides whether it was traumatic or not. I mean, um, unfortunately, we see a lot of uh, accidents happen on the road, right? We
Yeah.
are a crowded country. Our traffic rules, I mean, I love India, but they are what they are, right? So a lot of accidents happen. And sometimes we have become a bit insensitive also that we walk away. Unfortunately, I have walked away from a couple of accidents like, oh God, I can't deal with this. I just need to leave. Right.
Yeah.
However, I'm not as traumatized by it, maybe. Someone might be. We don't know.
Correct.
So the person decides whether it's trauma or not. And then
Yeah.
the person decides whether this pain is extreme, I cannot bear it, it is extremely distressing, please take it away. I know how to take it away. It is going to be all these addictions. Anything that makes me forget what pain I'm going through
Yeah.
can lead to addiction. So, yes, trauma plays a very, very big role. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah, and I think I also want to spend, like, we have only 10 minutes now. I also want to spend some time on figuring out how to, suppose we ourselves or people in our environment have an addiction problem. How do we support them? So how do we support them without, you know, um, enabling it, because we are also, when we bring it up in a manner usually like we usually do, oh my god, you're such a this and that, and it just makes things worse for them. So how do we support them without causing more trouble?
Yes, that's a very good one. Um, Addiction is also a family disorder. What it means
Yeah.
is the family is equally affected
Yeah.
and the family plays an equal role in developing it, right? If you find that your loved one or you, I would talk about the loved one first, how to support someone who is addicted. The best thing would be to not shame them.
Hmm.
Almost all addicts that I have talked to have cried in front of me saying, I want to stop, but I can't. I don't know
Yeah.
how. Um, would be without, approaching them from a very rude lens. To mess,
Yeah.
oh, you are this, you are that. No, approach them with love. Ask them what is going on. Why this? Why are you finding solace in this? anything that is, any addiction that is, right? Um, what can we do to help you?
Yeah.
That is all you can do. Unfortunately, I see a lot of family members wanting to take the recovery on them. I will
Mm.
do this, I will do that, I will give you medicines every day, I will I will be with you every hour, without, like, they forget the fact that they have also been hurt,
Yeah.
they have been lied to, they have been, condescended to, they have had to hear a lot of rude words.
Mm.
And when you are with that person, do you think that that hurt is not going to resurface? It is.
Yeah.
When that person is just normal and you are saying, no, I will help them, I will be with them 24 hours, you are going to bring up all these things. Every
Yeah.
hurt person does that.
Yeah.
Sometimes we believe that we can handle our loved ones' lives better than they can,
Mm.
which you might. However, that is not the best way to approach someone, because internal motivation is the most important thing. If they don't have that, then they are going to start lying, hiding, and manipulating.
Yeah.
They will do it. And all that is going to do is make you more hurt, sad, angry, and upset. So, no, nothing is served. The best way is to not shame, ask them what they need, and gently push forward areas or mechanisms of help.
Mm.
So, that would be talking to a doctor, that would be talking to a helpline service,
Yeah.
talking to a therapist, talking to a psychiatrist, going to a rehabilitation center. But when it is done with love, care, affection, and support, people are usually receptive to it. It is not what you say, it is how you say it.
Mm. Yeah.
Right? So that is how you can like help a loved one. And at the same time, you need to take care of yourself.
Right. So important.
You need to go in therapy too. Um, I think one of the most the biggest resource for addiction is Alcohol Anonymous. And people think that is just for the addicts. No, it is also for the family of people
Mm.
who are addicted. It is called Al Anon. Okay. So while the addict is going through his treatment, the family are also going through their own.
Yeah.
Because if you are affected, you are going to be angry. You also play a role. You also
Yeah.
trouble people. And we need to break that cycle.
Yeah.
So you need to take care of yourself too.
That's so important because now that you're saying it, I'm thinking, this person who's addicted has gone to the rehab and comes back all renewed and refreshed, but the environment is still the same. That's enough trigger sometimes for this person to go back and relapse, right? I mean, you never know what the trigger is, but this is one possibility,
It's a
right?
very big possibility, right?
That's a really good point.
And sometimes what family members do is, you have been in rehab, now you're all sorted, now listen to my problems. You did
Hmm.
this to me, you did that to me.
Hmm.
When you were gone here, I felt like this.
Yeah.
They are still a patient. They need
Correct.
care.
Correct.
You do too, but not from them.
Yeah.
And
Um, as we have like 4 minutes left, I want to ask you, what are two myths about addiction that you wish everyone could be aware of, or even one myth, something that we should walk away with,
hmm,
knowing about addiction that you've seen people got this all wrong.
hmm, hmm, hmm. Recovery.
Hmm.
Um, if addiction is you using something, you stopping that does not mean recovery.
Hmm.
You are very soon going to pick up something else.
Hmm.
So if you stop drinking but you're smoking 20 cigarettes a day, you are not in recovery. You've
Hmm.
replaced it.
Yeah.
Recovery means changing your life like a complete 180.
Hmm.
You are going to get rid of people, you're going to get rid of some stressors, you have to get rid of your old habits. And habits means Sleep. You have to manage your sleep. You have
Hmm.
to manage your food. You have to manage your exercise. Recovery is not just stopping your drinking,
Yeah.
the complete 180 that you have to do.
Yeah.
You have to change a lot of your mindset needs to change. Your
Yeah.
habits need to change. The people around you need to change, and that is recovery.
Yeah. So it's a system that, so it's not a linear relationship saying, okay, I'm a alcohol addict, I stop alcohol, it's done. It's
Yeah.
a system that I need to change in order to really be feeling recovered and being recovered, right?
Yes.
So beautiful. I have one last question, but before that, I want to remind everyone to just quickly take a look at the chat. Dolly has shared a feedback form. It really helps us to know if this session was useful and what other kinds of sessions you might want to, want us to do going forward. So please do take, it will take you just 2 minutes to do that. So please take a minute to fill that form while I ask the last question about resources for support. Like, where can I reach out? I know you said you work for one rehab, but what are some, well-known or easily accessible resources for someone who's maybe not, maybe all the way, like, initial as well as maybe rehab? What does that journey look like?
Um, if someone is looking for a free resource, because accessibility is very important in mental health, I would suggest please check out Alcohol Anonymous. Okay.
Hmm.
I have a link. Can I copy paste it in the chat?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah, just give me a second. Um,
Oh,
so
it looks like chat is disabled. Dolly, it says chat disabled for some reason. Yeah, while that gets fixed, I mean, not just a particular addiction, I think in general, because there's a lot of, gadget addiction and a
Yeah,
lot
now
of
you should
other
be there.
kinds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
so alcohol, I mean, this is obviously an anonymous group I've
Hmm.
given for alcohol, but it is not restricted to that.
Okay.
Anonymous group has Alcohol Anonymous, Gambling Anonymous, Sex
Oh,
and
okay.
Love Addiction. Yes, it Anonymous
Hmm.
is just a group. Under
Hmm.
that, there are 10,000 things.
Got it.
Just look up whatever is your addiction in Anonymous. You will find a lot of resources.
Hmm.
Find reading material. You will find groups, because community is extremely important. They do a lot
Yeah.
of meetings, they do a lot of groups where people with similar issues come together, talk
Hmm.
how they are managing. You will see people in recovery for like 10 years, 20 years,
Yeah.
30 years. That's not even my age, and that is how their recovery is. And
Hmm.
so it works. People work, people help. And
Yeah.
because it is everywhere in the world, it was in Lucknow. AA meetings were happening in Lucknow,
Hmm.
were happening in Spain. And I was like, oh, this is a very
Yeah.
wide community.
Yeah.
So Anonymous would be the best resource that you can
Mm-hmm.
look out for. Obviously, Samarpan is here to help people. And that's about it.
Okay, so
Those are
that
the
that's helpful. I
that I
think
can vouch for.
this is quite a big umbrella that can have many different kinds of addictions. It's already 12, but there's one hand up. Is it okay if we take that question?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Punit, you have a question?
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So, hi everyone, this is Puneet from Maharashtra. So, in addition to Ishita ma'am's information regarding support group, I would love to add one more fellowship in that. There is one program called Smart Recovery, that is self-management and recovery training,
Yes.
founded in USA in 1994.
Yeah.
And all 12 steps fellowships are based on higher power, higher power idea, and it is based on powerlessness.
Yeah.
But Smart is a purely science based program, uh, and that Smart also, gives support to all kinds of addiction, whether it is gambling, whether it is uh, compulsive sexual behavior, anything, I mean. It is purely based on CBT, cognitive behavior therapy, REBT, rational emotive behavior therapy, and motivation enhancement therapy. So it is purely science-based program.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just want to add that.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Punit, for that information. If you have a link for that, you can also put it on the chat. That's really helpful. Thank you so much for adding that. And
Yes.
with that, we are at 12. And I want to thank you so much, Ishita, for answering all the billion questions we have and all the interruptions I've been making and being quite patient with that. I really appreciate your sharing your experience and expertise here with us. And thank you all for being so participative as well, I think, and asking the kind of questions that might have some influence and some impact in your life. So thank you for being participative. We really appreciate that. And thank you all for joining us today. We'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am.
You are welcome. I'm very happy for this opportunity. Thanks a lot. This was a very, very good talk. And I'm sure there are a lot more questions. So if anyone ever wants to reach out, I'm on LinkedIn and even Pukar team. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Thank you for that.
Very, very happy for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.